TNA Wrestling is back, and in my humble opinion, they've had a pretty good 2-3 weeks of 2024. Ever since the Hard to Kill pay-per-view, where we had the groundbreaking debut of Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler. That was a big get for TNA Wrestling. Moose became the brand new TNA World Heavyweight Champion after defeating Alex Shelley in the main event of that show. And then we fast forward to this past Saturday night when we had the current TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordynne Grace make an appearance during the Women's Royal Rumble match, and she had a pretty good performance. She had an in-ring moment that the fans knew who she was, the fans acknowledged her, and the fans loved it, with Naomi, formerly TNA Knockouts Champion Trinity. So it's safe to say that TNA Wrestling is starting to build some momentum once again. They've got some excitement back into the product. They've even brought back their Cross the Line music theme and incorporated that back into their product in hopes of bringing back the old TNA fan base. They've also hired brand new talents. The Grizzled Young Veterans. Remember them from WWE, NXT? They were fantastic on NXT. Happy to have them in TNA Wrestling. I think that they're going to have a tremendous showing, a tremendous program with ABC, Chris Bay, and, what's his name? Ace Austin. Who, in my opinion, those two men should be the next up in terms of being in the main event scene for TNA Wrestling. And that should have been at least a year and a half ago. They're that damn talented, and I don't want the same thing to happen to them that happened to Jay Lethal, to Kazarian, to even Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, who were put on the back burner for Sting, Kurt Angle, and Scott Steiner and Booker T, and so many of the Jeff Hardy, Mr. Anderson, so many of these top stars. These stars, Chris Bay, Ace Austin, Josh Alexander, who's been a multiple-time world champion at this point, they need to be a part of the main event scene as soon as possible. They got the Knockouts tag team titles. They're not bringing the six-sided ring back. I'm happy about that. Look. I know there's a lot of controversy with the fact that, well, they should have brought back the six-sided ring. It's not what wrestling fans know wrestling to be, and it worked from 2004 to 2009. It worked. But then they took it away. And the product didn't change, the hype didn't change, the excitement didn't change. We got the four sides back. And then they started flip-flopping, and that just ruined any momentum TNA Wrestling had going for them. So again, the four sides is the best way to protect the wrestler's integrity in that ring. Another thing to highlight from TNA Wrestling. The Josh Alexander versus Will Ospreay 2, 30 minutes on TNA Impact on Access TV, free television. One of the top candidates of match of the year already, and it's barely February 1st. And they gave that to us on free TV. Kazuchika Okada was a part of the six-man tag team match. He was back in TNA Wrestling, not as Okada, not as what he was in 2011, but as the Rainmaker. And it's far-fetched to think that he's going to sign with TNA Wrestling. That's not going to happen. The company's not big enough. They're not going to pay him enough money. I don't think they give out guaranteed deals anymore. But having him be a part of this brand new version of TNA Wrestling only helps. And to me, the only downfall, the only thing that they need to upgrade when it comes to TNA Wrestling, for them to reach that new level, for them to try to once again grow their audience in a consistent basis, is to get off of Access TV and hopefully back on Spike, or I think they have a brand new name at this point, but they need to get a bigger TV deal. They need better distribution in the United States if they want to grow their audience. But overall, the product presentation, Eric Young's back. Chris Sabin, he's the X Division champion. TNA Wrestling right now is doing everything they can to bring fans back in. And I suggest going back and watch and give TNA Wrestling another shot. Watch TNA Impact once. Just once. It's very different from those crappy days of 2014, 2015, 2016, which I enjoyed. I've been a TNA Wrestling fan since 2009. I enjoy all of that. I recall all of that. I watched all of that. But I have said this before and I'll say it again. If TNA Wrestling was able to put the product, the wrestling, matches, the programs, the feud, the storylines, everything that they've done since Anthem took over, take that product, put it on Spike TV from 2013 onward, they would still be in a very good position amongst wrestling fans and amongst TV distribution. Creative, backstage issues, a lot of backstage drama, the company almost going under. We all know the story. I'm not saying TNA Wrestling is back to be number 2. They can't compete with AEW. They can't compete with Tony Khan's millions. They can't compete with with all the production budget that Tony Khan is able to put into All Elite Wrestling. But at least for now, and again, it's just been 2-3 weeks of TNA Wrestling back as TNA. For now, it's a very, very fantastic, very good, very entertaining alternative to WWE and AEW. And that's what wrestling needs. That's just my humble opinion. That is just my humble opinion on TNA Wrestling right now. So with that said, what are your thoughts? Have you checked out TNA Wrestling since it's been back, since Hard to Kill? Are you willing to give it another shot? Do you have enough time to be watching WWE, AEW, and TNA Wrestling? Because I think, this is just my opinion, but most fans watch WWE. A portion of those watch AEW, and a portion of all of those watch TNA Wrestling. That's how the pie of wrestling fans is distributed amongst the companies. I don't think there's too much of a wrestling audience currently in North America to go around to be able to say like 2 million, 2 million exclusive viewers watch each or will be able to watch each product. I don't think that's possible. So with that said, leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comment section below. And I do recommend not only to tune into TNA Impact tonight, but also go to their YouTube channel and watch Alexander versus Ospreay in its entirety. It's right there on the YouTube channel. You will not regret it. It's a fantastic match. Keeps you on the edge of your seat. They do not disappoint. I mean, it's a walking weapon, and it's Will Ospreay. Go watch it. So with that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.